Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Join me on my adventures with modern classic cars as I learn how to restore these old beauties back to their former glory. In last week's video you saw me remove the intake manifold in a last ditched attempt to get that stuck spark plug out, but it's still stuck in there. So it looks like I'm going to have to take the head off and send it away to get resolved properly. So I figure I may as well have the entire engine out, get it on a stand, replace all the gaskets and these rotting pipes and see where we are. So this week I've been reading up online. It looks to be between about 4 and 7 hours to have an engine out, which feels about the amount of time I get in a week to spend on the car. So let's give it a good crack. I've bought the stand, I've bought the crane to lift it out, and let's just see how we do. So naturally, first job I come to, I get stuck. I need to take the bonnet off. So the screws on the far side, so that side are coming down quite nicely. This side it's got cap head Allen key bolts on. And typically the second one I come to is already rounded off and stuck, so I'm about to go at that. I'm going to try hitting it with a hammer first, textbook answer, and then if not I'll apply a bit of heat and see what I can do, but I'll try and get that working, moving, and see if I can get the bonnet off today. That'd be a good start. I've already taken the cross member off that was across roughly about there. That came off really easily. Actually you can still see the Allen key bolts for that here. And same the other side. So that's the bolt I can undo, and in the end I opted just to remove the entire bonnet, bracket and all. I can operate on it a little bit easier away from the engine bay. Whether it needs drilling out or what we'll work out later. So I popped it on top of the car on a polystyrene bit of packing that came with the TV, I think. Seems to be a nice place to put it. So I get great access to the engine bay now, and the next bit can start. Looking at the radiator next. I think we start at the top, just start doing the hoses, find some suitable screwdrivers. So from the driver's side, left side of the radiator, it looks like there's the thick hose I've already undone that is just here. Then it's just this pipe down the bottom here. It's got a clip, a nut right at the bottom, which should be straightforward to take off. And then on this side there's a few more. There is, let's have a look, there's a nut here and there's another, I don't think you'll be able to see. Alright, see if I can get the light to shine down there enough. There's a couple down the bottom there that need, I don't know if that'll actually focus on it. I don't know if you can see there, but there's a couple right down the bottom there I need to take off. And then it looks like, obviously the fan will need to come out, but then it looks like I just undo the bolts either side and the whole assembly lifts out, I believe. We'll try. So that's the top hose from the radiator. Just looking inside the whole pipe where it came out of, you can see the I don't know what that is, calcium I guess, or just a deposit. It's a bit mucky in there. That's going to need a proper cleaning out, but when the engine's out on the stand, it's a lot easier to get to all this stuff, so it should be okay. My big spanner arrived, so I can get on these radiator bolts now. Start undoing these boys. So from right, the radiator should just come out. So I need to just drain. One more pipe to come undone at the bottom. ripped around underneath it. But radiator should be free. She is. Okay. One very old looking radiator. And I was smart enough this time to put plastic sheeting down. I think there's quite a lot of oil still inside it. Or some oil at least. That's good. That's out. Take it down and we'll have a look. So that's the inside. Not actually looking that bad, is it? Relatively clean. You debate what to do with it, whether it goes away and be recored. I'm no expert on radiators, of course, so I'll be looking for advice on that. With the radiator out, actually very straightforward to get out. I undid more than I needed to. I've actually undone enough to get the next rad out, which I assume is probably the aircon one. Getting there though. I think I'm ready to detach the flex plate underneath, pull the drive shafts apart, uncouple the bell housing, and then I can lift the engine out, I think. So using a thin bit of flexible tubing attached to my hoover, I'm just trying to hoover out anything that's inside the cylinder there, the bits of metal from the spark plug. I need to be able to rotate the flex plate to get it off, and that will obviously move the cylinders up and down. I don't want to go scoring the bores, so I'm just going to try that out now. What I found in the cylinder. That's what came out of the hoovering session. You can see there's quite a lot of bits. There's obviously the bits of metal at the top of the picture, at the top of the tub, but there's a lot of just gunk in there. Little bits of iron filings and things. I'm going to continue just to make sure I've got everything out, or as much as I can get out, and then I'll proceed with getting the flex plate off. So of all 6 bolts that hold the lower bell housing, which is this bit, they're all undone. I can't quite get you underneath far enough. There's one here, two around this end here, and then a couple down the other side. This should come up down. I've got 2 bolts left in, just loose. The starter motor, which is here, hangs on it, so it's all attached. And then it's kind of stuck in place just because of the years and everything. So I use a rubber mallet, and I've been going around giving it a good whack. And finally that's just let go, so it's just hanging there on those 2 bolts, so I'll undo those in a little while, and that should drop down. I've put an axle stand there just to catch it, just in case, but I believe you let it hang on the wires, which I don't like the idea, so I'll probably undo that in a minute, and just catch it on the axle stand. I'll put another one under there just in case it's heavy, and then that comes out the way. You see all 6 bolts out now. I just need to remove the little collar there, and then I should better slide that back away from the engine. Next up is draining the oil out. If I can get this undone. I just cracked it with 2 hands earlier to make it a little bit easier. Right, it's nice and loose. I've got 2 tubs on standby. I've heard these hold a lot of oil, so let's expect the worst. I'm surprised it's still got oil in it. There's no water in it. It's probably quite good practice to leave it with oil in. It's a lot tighter than I'd like to see it, actually. Hopefully the threads are okay. And we're getting through the jobs now. We've got I've got to detach the exhausts at the manifold. I'll leave the manifolds on, just take the exhaust off. Separate the the what's it called, flex plate, and then just pull the engine, or detach the engine mounts, and then the engine just slides forwards a little bit to come away from the thrust plate, apparently. A flex plate. Oh, there it is. All over my hand. Excellent. Okay. Right, that's filling up nicely. You just see there. This is the other bucket. It's definitely going to be big enough. Actually, it's running out of steam now, isn't it? What are the odds that's going to fill up that container? I think we're going to be okay. It's definitely slowing down. I think we're okay. So I'll just leave that draining. Excitingly, I've got my Corona jab today, so I'm going to leave that draining for the rest of the day, and then pick this up tomorrow. So I've got the radiator out. I've got to remove the fan, I think, and the air conditioning pump and alternator. I think those come off before taking the engine out. Detach the motor mounts, separate the flex plate, then undo all the bell housing, and it should, I think, then be ready to lift out. Hopefully we'll be able to get it done maybe by the weekend or over the weekend. Times like this I wonder why I don't have a grinder, because I'll just grind these exhaust nuts off, but I don't, so I'm just going to try and take them off with a nut extractor, a lot like, if I can get it. Keep dropping it. That's the problem laying under a car. A lot like this one. So pop it on there, and that will, as I turn, that will bite in, and hopefully allow me to turn the nut. I thought I'd film this bit. I've spent a bit of time getting the exhaust studs out. So this last one, centre of the screen, I've just used a nut splitter, which is always nice to see, because the nut actually sort of just gets split in half, and I've just tapped that with a chisel and a hammer and chisel, and that will just drop off. That leave one more stud on the other side of that downpipe to take away, and then the exhaust is detached. Earlier in the week we removed the lower bell housing, which is just above me. I just need to remove that collar, and then I can separate the flex plate from the whatever that other bit is, I don't know, and that'll be that bit done. Then I just need to undo the bell housing. Earlier today I was removing the bolts here. I just rotate round. These studs in the in this down pipe of the exhaust, they're all out now. They took a bit of battling. I went and got a grinder in the end, so I ground one of them off, and the other two I've just had to literally snap, and then just chisel out the remaining bits. It wasn't too bad, just taking a little bit longer than I thought. I think what I'm going to do is wrap this video up to allow me to stick to the weekly cadence, try and get a video out every week. So next week hopefully we'll have that engine out. I'm really looking forward to that. I think it'll be fantastic to see it on a stand, be able to sort of move it around, give it a really good clean up. We can replace all the gaskets, get the head off, get that sent away, or both heads off actually, get them both sent away. The engineering company can then take out that broken spark plug, but also recon the heads. In the meantime, we can start talking about what we do with the rest of the car. I think I'm going to store it outside for a little while under a cover while we're working on the engine, but then we'll change focus to that and start looking at all the bodywork and everything. But a lot of exciting stuff coming up, so if you could subscribe please, hit the bell so you get a notification when I upload a video. Trying to do it, say every Sunday night I'll try and upload one, and lots of videos to come. See you next time.